Hello Tubesters, it's me Gav and welcome to another one of my videos. Today it's just a brief review of yet more Harry Potter figures. I had a little go on eBay a week or two ago and this is what I've picked up. I usually only buy these when I can see them up for a good deal, and some I sell on, some I keep for myself, you know, just pays to actually get some figures to keep for myself. I say I don't game them, I just like to paint the figures. So let's have a look at this one. This is the Luna Lovegood Lionheart figure. You can see she's got, this is when she was supporting Gryffindor, although she's a Ravenclaw, she's obviously friends with Harry and all that, and she supports, good-natured soul that she is, she supported Gryffindor in a game, I believe against Slytherin, I'm not too sure. But a bit sad, isn't it? 50-year-old bloke and I know all this stuff. This is, as you can see, a Gen Con 2018 box. I suppose a special one for that. Let's get that out of the way. Let's have a look at Luna herself. Let's get a bit closer to the subject. Really tiny little figure, all in proportion as usual. The lion headdress, hat, whatever you want to call it, is extremely well done. Lots of fine detail in there. Luna's face looks, I'd say, quite a bit like Luna, in my opinion. It's always a bit hit and miss, you know, what figures look. You know, you can say what figure looks like the real actor and actress. Again, the jumper. Again, extremely well sculpted. Usual mould lines, as you can see under the arms. You're not going to get a figure hardly that doesn't have some form of mould lines. This one, whether it's just a small figure, it doesn't seem to have those supporting struts. Oh, there's one tiny one there, if you can see. Let's have my usual grubby pointing stick. That looks like one there. So you have to get in there with your scalpel. I always suggest pair these back. You know, if you've got one of these support, well, I call them supporting struts. I have no idea what the real professional name is for them. But if you have one of those, it's usually under the chin and the undercut of the different clothes. If you do have one of those, I suggest don't try and hack it off in one go, even no matter how sharp your scalpel is. Just pare it back in layers, and then finish it off with a sander of some description or even a metal file. Fair bit of infill there. You get this sometimes though, that it's moulded in nice and tight there, but when you look at the back it's slightly, you know, you could almost do with taking some of that out, which is what I might do. I might get my drill and just try and just gently par some of that away, if not to go all the way through, but at least to make a bit more definition. Again, you've got the mould line down the actual side of the jeans. I mean, you don't have to with this if you don't want to. I'd just suggest putting some plastic putty in, water it down a bit and just wash it into these areas here so that it blocks out some of these little holes a bit. I'm not 100% sure on the material of the jumper, so under the arms will probably need a bit of a clean out. But no, you know, just a tidy little figure. As I say, it was done for Gen Con, which I think is the American type of show, you know, like the British salute, I would imagine. But yeah, tiny little figure. But it'll be very nice when it's painted up, because some nice colours in this one, and lots of colours. You know, on the colour wheel you can use there your yellowy colours, blues, purples. So that's, oh, she just has the normal base. You've all seen these, but that type of base. Now I've got the next one. I've got 3 packets. The other one, by the way, is I'll quickly give you a quick flash, but is Hagrid again. I painted up and gave it to a friend's daughter as a gift, so I just bought another one for myself. Although, you know what I'm like, mercenary painter that I am, I'll probably end up painting it and trying to sell it, and then getting another one for me until they run out and I find I can't get one. Malfoy family next. As you can see, you've got Narcisa. You've got Draco. And, oh, come on, Gavin, I'm going to have a look on the back. Mr. Harry Potter expert. No, it's oh goodness gracious, Lucius. Thank you very much, Gav. Are you sure? Yeah, it is Lucius. Here we go. We've got a bit of Draco again, looking all menacing, and then Mum and Dad on the other side. Now, I bought these from Titan Games on eBay. They got some nice deals going on. Some free delivery and things like that, and that can often make the difference, you know, with a sale. And let's just put this back in front of you for a minute so you've got something to look at. Now, I had one problem, and that was, and it happens sometimes with some of these Night Models Harry Potter figures, they don't always come with the bits they're supposed to. I've never had that problem myself, but Lucius here, yes, I do remember you now, Lucius. This cane with the lovely moulded snake on, and his hands obviously go into here, that was missing, and I sent a request off to Antony at Titan Games, and in no time at all he'd sourced me another. I mean, in fact, just sent the whole figure up with this is the figure. I've got another Lucius with no hands. And sent this up. So thank you very, very much, Anthony. I would advise anybody when you get service like that to give a company a try. So that's Titan Games, and as I say, I got, there wasn't no quibbling. It was just a fact of let me sort something out for you, and didn't pay the postage, nothing, just came straight up. So give Titan Games a go. So I've got no affiliation to these guys. They've not asked me to put these up. I've bought all these myself. But I just, as I've always said to you guys, we're all good at knocking companies, for not doing good service. And yes, I hear it a lot that, or I hear it from time to time that bits are missing in these packs, because they all are very slight, very thin bits and pieces, and it's not hard to either snap them off and before they even get in the box. But as I say, Anthony went out of his way to source another one and get it sent out to me. So thank you very much, Anthony, and I really appreciate the service. So let's get on with the Malfoys. Lucius here looks like he's got a it looks like he's got a nose like mine, actually, slightly bust out of shape. Definitely. I'll have to check on my other Lucius to see. In fact, actually, while we're doing it, let's have a look. Let's see if with the one that originally came with no hands. Let's see if he's got a busted nose, because I don't think he has. No. Now that's better. So let's get the two together. Yeah, he's got slightly flattened. Probably Dobby the elf has put a spell on him or something. So yeah, I'll be using the original Lucius with the second Lucius's hands. But I think that's quite like the actor's face. We're looking for those undercuts under the chin. This one doesn't seem to have any. Again, he's got all his like black dress robes, travelling robes, whatever you want to call them. Here we've got one of those undercuts with the supporting piece underneath. Again, just pile that away. But they do come away really easy. But I would suggest, don't try and hack it off in one go. They come with the usual bases. I'm not going to show that. Bit of stuff will just need cutting back. That's really loose. That just needs cutting back. Not too many. Sometimes you get little dimples, like a few little dimples on the cloaks. and you can either leave them on or just again get some plastic putty and wash it over. But no, it's a very nice figure, very nice indeed. So that's our Lucius. Let's have a look at young Draco. Or Draco as he was probably, what should we say, 14, 15, something like that. Now he has got the undercut, and I really hate these when they're under like that. That's under the chin. And it's always a pain to get them absolutely smoothed out 100%. It is a pain to say it's such a one piece figure. But again, get your sharp scalpel in there, one with a point on it, and just par it away gently. You'll be stuck for getting a standing stick in there, so I'd presume you either use a bit of sandpaper or just a nice round metal file, nice and gently, just to smooth it out as best you can. Then if there are any more divots left in where you've been using your file, then again, Vallejo plastic putty, Tamiya plastic putty, and just you can just water it down very slightly and just brush it round with an old brush. My old brushes I often put some aside for using plastic putty, and it washes out fairly well. So here we've got another support there. And again, these are probably the worst ones when they're under these deep undercuts, because it is hard to clean them off properly. It's always a shame when you got those, because I don't get them on my large resin figures, the ones that you see me paint 54mm and that. They're always absolutely mint. I never understand why these have got so many. It's a shame, because they're really nicely sculpted figures. Again, I'll leave that up to you guys if you think that looks like Draco or not. And then we've got Mum, we've got Narcisa. It's got a nice crispy bit of resin on the end of her chin, so I have to just be a bit careful of that. High cheekbones that Narcisa has, or the actress has in real life. Yet another undercut. That little piece there is actually part of this undercut here again. Pain in the bum. Little skinny waist. It's a really skinny little figure. It doesn't come over so much maybe on a close-up. These could always be tidier under here. You're not going to see them, but the painter in you just wants to get them nice and tidy. We've got a great big chunk of resin here, which again, with these I use a razor saw and I gently cut that away. I don't try and cut something this thick with a scalpel, because you've got a good chance of snapping that whole piece off. So use your razor saw. You can get different sizes. You can get some really skinny modelling ones, or you can get. I've got a slightly chunkier one, but it tends to do most things. And use your modelling razor saw. They're not massively expensive. And cut that as a line there, and then par the last fragments away with your scalpel, and then hit it with a sanding stick, and you'll be good to go. And again, just have to clean up mould lines underneath. Again, sanding stick will do that. So that's our Narcisa. I was better show you the arms as well. These skinny little arms. Again, always got to watch these ones. I don't know if this is the new. I doubt it's the new resin. They're supposed to be making a slightly more flexible resin figures now. As I say, I don't know if this is one. I'm not going to test it. But obviously the ones being all in scale, the ones are always known for either fracturing or take. I had Hermione's hand come off at the just come off at the wrist just before I started painting, which was a pain in the bum. You can't pin them, you just have to they're a bit too skinny for pinning, so you just have to put a bit of super glue on and clean it up as best you can. And that's Narcisa's hands. Obviously she's got that one up in the air. Again, nice figure. So I'll keep saying it, there's, I don't owe anybody, and Night Models or anybody anything. They've always The details in them are fantastic. I just wish the cleanup was less. And it's not even so much for, I keep saying it, it's not even so much for myself. You know, I'm a painter, do a bit of modelling. So to clean them up is just what you do, you know. But if you're trying to get people into, which is the main thing, to play these games, you're going to really put people off when they start seeing, you know, things like that. You know, with all the extra bits that they've got to, you know, file off and gently take off. Yes, a lot of us will say, well, that's just part of painting and building figures and things. But for your casual person that just is into Harry Potter and wants to play the game, it's going to be a bit of a nightmare for them. Unless, of course, they come to me and I'll commission paint them for them. Right, guys, I thank you very much for stopping by and taking, let's just put Luna here just so we've got something to look at. Stopping by and taking a look at these videos, always appreciated. I've got a lot of other bits and pieces coming up. It's one of those things where it's gone a bit quiet while things are in the painting queue. I've got another Napoleonic unit, only a small cavalry unit. You saw the first 4 a week or 2 back. They're more or less complete, so they'll be up in the next day or 2. I've got some 28mm Zulu War figures, just 4. I've just started painting those, and they'll be up in the next few days. I've finally got the 28mm Success Estate Pike Block Infantry. I did as a one-off and has sat on my painting shelf for months because I just completely lost the mojo for that unit. I don't normally, it doesn't normally happen. Nothing wrong with the figures at all. I think it's because I didn't know a lot about the subject. I didn't really have many books and research bits and pieces, and I just completely lost interest with it. But I finally got that on, almost finished, so that'll be up in the next day or 2. And I think, guys, that's about it. So you take care of yourselves, and we'll catch each other very soon on another video. Cheers.